organization Great Minds has expertise in knowledge building and vocabulary through our ELA curriculum, Wit and Wisdom. Wilson Language Training has expertise in foundational reading skills instruction. Together, we created Geodes, an entirely new experience for emerging readers. Geodes are a collection of breakthrough books for emerging and developing readers designed to cultivate a deep reading experience. They enable students to apply their growing decoding skills while building knowledge in history, science, and the arts. Do you know why we named them geodes? When you look at an actual geode rock or stone, on the outside, it looks like any old rock. But when you crack it open, you see the beauty and wonder that you would never have known were there under the surface. The intentionality and thought that goes into every page of a geode can only be discovered once you really look inside. Geodes give students a foundation for success by reinforcing phonetic concepts and by providing readers with an opportunity to build knowledge from the first book they open. With Geodes, students learn to decode as they seek meaning and gain understanding. As students first learn to connect letters and sounds, many of them are given a simple book that includes familiar lines like "Pat sat on the mat." Okay, but does that teach anyone anything about the world? Contrast that with being rewarded with the Geodes book Smell Tells. Students decode while learning that ants use their sense of smell to tell if another ant is the queen or a worker, and that they communicate through scent to find food or to warn of danger. Students begin school with varied background knowledge. Building community content knowledge combined with the funds of knowledge they bring gives students a springboard for rich conversation. We believe books for beginning readers should honor the natural curiosity of children and build their knowledge with every page turn. Geodes are written and designed to give context for every student of every ability. With a diverse group of talented authors and illustrators, Geodes reflect a broad range of identities and experiences, allowing children to see themselves, others, and worlds, both familiar and distant. From the very first Geodes book students encounter, we know there's an opportunity to help them build knowledge. We explore topics that are accessible to students while simultaneously opening up worlds they may not have known existed. From learning about how a family in Peru makes clothing from the soft wool of alpaca and fabric of the Andes, to learning that St. Louis is home to the world's tallest arch, the gateway to the West, in the Geodes book Sea to Shining Sea, we use every reading opportunity to help students build knowledge. In Level 1 Geodes, that means we'll help newly independent readers explore the wonders of elephant communication in Elephant Talk, and about the discovery 4 French teenagers made of 20,000-year-old wall drawings in The Story in the Cave. And in Module 4, Cinderella Stories, students explore countries and cultures through the lens of an enduring tale. Did you know that a cricket can help you determine the outside temperature? A student reading Nature's Thermometer, a Level 2 Geode book, could tell you how that's possible. And while they were building that bit of knowledge, they were also practicing reading words with suffixes and prefixes, because that's what geodes do. They help students strengthen their phonics skills by giving them an opportunity to decode words while also building knowledge about fascinating topics. As students progress from Level K to Level 1 and eventually to Level 2 Geodes, average sentence length increases gradually to build a student's reading stamina. We've talked about the fact that Geodes help students build knowledge, but how they do that is important. Every Geodes book is at least 80% decodable based on foundation, scope, and sequence, anchoring decoding and building reader confidence. Most non-decodable words in each book were selected to support key content knowledge, and some of the non-decodable words in each text are recurring content words that appear across module texts to reinforce the module's topic. They are also often surrounded by a cluster of decodable words to ease a student's cognitive load and increase accessibility. Students encounter or learn 5 recurring content words in the second half of kindergarten to 8 to 13 words in grades 1 and 2. And as you can see here on the back of each book, you can find the alignment with Wilson Foundations and see the specific letter sounds or focus concept that students will practice decoding in the book. This accessibility allows all students to find moments of pride and accomplishment as they progress through the Geodes texts. In kindergarten, students start with wordless picture books and sound search books, and then move to duet books, and finally to independent reading in grades 1 and 2. It's through the accessibility that we empower emerging readers. That means that in Level K, students are presented with books that align to their phonetic development. They are not asked to attempt decoding words until they are equipped with the necessary tools to do it. Let's take a look at where students start with Geodes. With Level K, students begin with 2 modules. The first module topic is the 5 senses, and the second module topic is Once Upon a Farm. Both modules 1 and 2 include 2 sets of books for a total of 8 unique book titles. Within these 2 modules, students will have 2 wordless picture book titles focused on providing them with an opportunity to tell a story based on a sequence of narrative illustrations. Each book has an About section that provides an account of the illustrated story in the book for the teacher to read aloud. After listening to the read aloud, students are encouraged to add more details to their next retell of the story. We'll look more closely at the About section in just a bit. While it is a wordless picture book, it's still an opportunity for students to build knowledge. In Pele, students learn the story of a young boy in Brazil whose passion and talent for soccer led him from playing with a ball made of a sock stuffed with rags to becoming the youngest World Cup champion ever. There are also 3 sound search books in each set in modules 1 and 2. Sound search books assist students in boosting their letter sound recognition skills by having students find pictures associated with the sounds of a given letter. Here you see a page from Galapagos Adventure, where students will search for objects in the illustration that correlate with their latest letter sound knowledge while learning that tortoises can live to be more than 100 years old and can survive an entire year without food or water. Modules 3 and 4 include 16 book titles in each module, and the focus moves to duet books, books where students read along with an adult while building their decoding and word recognition skills. Students begin to apply their phonetic knowledge as they tap out words, and the duet books in Level K provide an adult assist to give them a rich context of knowledge building, even while they are reading for the first time on their own. After the duet books, students have moved on to independent reading. Both Level 1 and Level 2 Geodes include 64 unique book titles. Let's look at a Level 1 Geodes module, where students explore the power of storytelling across time and cultures. First, students explore the art of storytelling by traveling to Africa, where they meet Anansi, a mischievous spider of West African folktales. Next, students travel to Europe and meet 4 boys who were searching for their lost dog when they stumble upon a hidden cave in France and tell the story in the cave. Then We move on to a book full of fantasy and wonder in the magical stack. Mac, the protagonist, experiences the value of storytelling as he lies sick in bed with a stack of books to keep him company. He gets lost in the books and meets characters including Count Dracula, Alice, and a genie. Finally, students set off to Germany with brothers Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm, some of the greatest known storytellers, on a journey through Germany to collect tales of witches, wolves, girls with red hoods, and mysterious poison cups. By level 2, students have gained confidence in their reading skills and continue to expand their phonetic understanding. In Module 1, Set 3A, A Season of Change, students investigate how spring is a season full of new life and growth. First, they read Spring Fever. In this poem, a young boy is eager to explore spring's arrival, including the blooming flowers and chipmunks, bears, and bees awakening from their winter's rest. Sap to Syrup is an informational text that describes the process of collecting and preparing maple syrup. This book was inspired by Walter Porky White and his Sugarbush camp. White was a member of the Anishinaabe people from Minnesota. Then Finch Study. In this literary text, students follow Sal, a character from Level 1's Slug Study, as she again steps into the role of a citizen scientist. In this book, Sal and her mom collect data on the finches in their backyard. And Blossom. This informational book uses photos to highlight the beauty of the cherry blossoms during the Japanese festival of Hanami. Every book includes a teaser on the back cover offering a preview of the book, highlighting an excerpt from the text, and features a question to develop student curiosity. With this teaser, students are intrigued about the moves a bee makes, and then they read Bee Waggle to discover that this jig, kick, and bob is how a bee communicates the location of nectar to other bees in its hive. We have a wide variety of text features, all intended to be read by the adult when there are knowledge-building details that could not be included in the text due to space or decodability challenges. These include the About section, maps, captions, labels, diagrams, headings, graphs, timelines, call-out boxes, and a More section in every book. Geodes aren't just about practicing reading skills, they're about inspiring curiosity. And we want to quench that thirst for knowledge that students have by providing them with rich information about each topic. Here you can see an example of the More section that can be found in every Geodes book. The More section is a short information selection that extends and enhances the information in Geodes. It is designed to be read aloud by a caregiver or teacher and provides opportunities for further exploration and conversation. To support multilingual families, the More section is available in both English and Spanish in My Geodes. For young readers, the only thing more exciting than reading a Geodes book is sharing what they discovered inside with their families. My Geodes paves the way for this shared experience through take-home books in both print and digital that include all the titles for each module. Students can practice their reading at home and share the knowledge they're building with family members. And now, students can access Geodes from any device with the new My Geodes enhanced digital experience. This add-on service gives students unlimited access to the vibrant journey of reading as they practice their skills independently and build enduring knowledge. The digital version of My Geodes includes access to all 176 titles as ebooks, ebook versions of Inside Geodes, teacher guides for every grade level, audio reader for non-decodable words, an audio reader of More sections in both English and Spanish, new accessibility features that meet federal requirements, A single sign-on through each school's authentication system, and teacher and administrator controls for the distribution of titles. Included in your Geodes classroom library are black and white versions of My Geodes that are exclusively designed for student use. As mentioned before, My Geodes include a More section in both English and Spanish to give students an opportunity to build additional knowledge and vocabulary alongside their families. We've also created family tip sheets to help spark knowledge-rich conversations at home about everything from the impact of droughts explored in the Level 1 Geode book, The Dust Bowl, to how a family in Peru uses alpaca wool to make clothing, the Level Case story told in the fabric of the Andes. Inside Geodes, a teacher resource, includes a comprehensive introduction to the module's design and components, and it provides suggestions for incorporating Geodes into a teacher's literacy instruction. Geodes can be used in multiple ways, depending on the needs of a classroom. If a teacher wants to introduce them whole group, there are sufficient numbers of texts with the grayscale My Geodes to have each student read a text. If students are ready to partner read, teachers can pair students off with texts. If a teacher wants to use the Geodes for small group instruction, he can group students according to their reading hurdle, tailoring the instruction around accuracy, fluency, and/or comprehension based on similar student need. And if a tutor wants to work with a student one-to-one, Geodes offers a knowledge-building option to the more generic decodables. So here's what you can expect. This is 1 year with Geodes, specifically Level 2. It includes 64 unique book titles divided into 4 separate modules, My Geodes, as well as Inside Geodes for teacher support. In addition to Inside Geodes, the teacher, writers, and experts at Great Minds behind Geodes have created a professional development session designed to help educators understand how to use Geodes to ensure that whether you're working with whole group, small group, or in a one-to-one scenario, students learning to read are reading to learn. Sure, students can read about the cat who sat on the mat or about a pig that is big, but with Geodes, students will explore art, world cultures, science, history, and storytelling. They'll view 109 maps, 75 diagrams and tables, and take a close look at 701 photographs with 153 historical images. The world around us is endlessly interesting. People, places, cultures, and ideas are just waiting to be uncovered. So why make our youngest, most curious children wait to start exploring them? Why make them wade through uninspired stories to practice their phonetic skills? Geodes approach early literacy differently, with the utmost respect for children, their thirst for knowledge, and their capacity to learn. With Geodes, children learn to read while reading to learn.